The four stories about Jesus in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, can be seen to be reliable because much in them is also affirmed by people writing outside the biblical accounts, whether these are Roman historians or Jewish ones. We can also look at the context which they describe.
I think one of the great things about the four written stories of Jesus that we have within the New Testament is the incredibly good fit that they provide with what we know from archaeology and from ancient history about the situation in the first century, in the Galilee, in Judea, in Jerusalem, in the people, in the Herods, the Pontius Pilates, the Caiaphases, all of whom, in a sense, we have documentary and other sorts of evidence for. Jesus interacts with them in entirely plausible ways which fit with that. By contrast, in a sense, you have a range of other much later, I don't know if you want me to talk about these, much later non-canonical Gospels, where the fit is not there. Jesus is kind of not really living in the first century. The personalities are not there who were real historical personalities. The geography, although in one sense it's not highly developed in the Gospel story, they're not that always interested where Jesus goes. When they do tell us about where Jesus goes, are entirely fitting. And when Jesus shifts from a more Jewish territory to a more Gentile territory, we're told we can discern the geography fits, the names fit, the personalities fit.
The four writers of the accounts of Jesus' ministry in the New Testament all record places that we can go and visit today, Bethlehem and Nazareth, real places in the Roman Empire which still survive, sometimes as real towns where people live, sometimes as archaeological ruins. The four accounts of Jesus in the New Testament give a very realistic picture of first century Palestine in what they say about the temple, in what they say about the festivals, and in the way they agree also with Jewish and Roman historians about what happened to Jesus in his lifetime. The events of Jesus' trial and death are anchored in historical reality. We know from sources outside of the New Testament that Caiaphas, who's the high priest recorded in the four accounts of Jesus' life, the four Gospels, was high priest at the time from archaeological evidence, such as his tomb. We know that the Roman governor of Palestine at the time, Pontius Pilate, we know that he was governor at the time because a Roman historian called Tacitus records that.
But of course each one of them has its own perspective, its own particular highlight or emphasis. So Matthew emphasizes the Jewish background to the work of Jesus. Mark is much more concerned to give us a biography of Jesus that leads to faith. Luke, as I have said, is interested in particularly in the accuracy of the history, for instance, and as it relates to events that were happening outside and the rest of the world. And John tries to give us the inner meaning of what was happening.
Having looked at the manuscript evidence and the four accounts of Jesus' life and ministry in some detail, I'm convinced that they give an entirely reliable picture of who Jesus was and what he did.